Welcome to Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time. And it's a very special story time because it's another episode of Story Beats, where I take one of the official Wilds of Eldraine story decks as created by Wizards of the Coast and put it through its paces on Magic Arena. Today, I have Piping Hot Pests, a red and black deck full of rats. And let's be honest, this is the one you were all waiting for this whole time. I know it. Here is our official description. Food everywhere, great tunes, and a huge community of friends. Working for Lord Skitter is great. Join Totentanz in taking over Edgewall, one rat at a time. This deck works to make as many rats as possible, using cards like Totentanz, Swarm Piper, and his new liege, Lord Skitter. When you have your army of rodents, use cards like Twisted Sewer Witch to buff them for the final blow. The notable cards here are Totentanz, Lord Skitter, and Twisted Sewer Witch, who is an absolute bomb in this deck. And here's the rest of the list. The build around card here is our legendary uncommon Totentanz, who doesn't appear in the main story, but does have his own sort of lore hidden in the flavor text of a lot of other cards. Basically, Totentanz is a struggling street musician until he falls into a sewer and meets Lord Skitter, who offers him a deal. Skitter grants Totentanz musical powers which can entrance anyone who listens to his songs, and as a payment for this sudden boon in popularity, he must lure some of his listeners into the sewers so they can be devoured by the rats. This works for a while, but eventually the people of Edgewall get wise to what is happening and unite together to defeat Totentanz and Lord Skitter, effectively returning the town to normal. The deck blends the townsfolk and the rats together into one explosive package, and it's all topped off with Twisted Sewer Witch, who can turn your army of rats into a game-ending threat as early as turn 5. It is a very aggressive strategy, and it's fast enough to slip under most of the board wipes in Standard right now, so we have a good shot at winning some games here, I think. So will our rats get to run rampant, or will we all be caught by the tail? Let's find out in today's Story Beats. Okay, here we go. First game with Piping Hot Pests. We've got Evolving Wilds and a swamp and some expensive stuff. But I think we still have to keep it because, what else can we do here? I don't know. I think we're turning our wilds into a mountain on turn 1, even though we can't use it to play this harried spear guard. At least now we've got something to do on turn 2, and hopefully we'll pick up a land and then go 3, 4, 5. Well, we did pick up a land. Okay, so that's actually fine because we can play our 1-drop. Play the wilds. Send it for another mountain, I suppose. And yeah, this has haste. Harried Spear Guard is a 1/1 human soldier with haste. When it dies, we get a rat creature token. The rats are all 1/1s that can't block. We're going to see a lot of them with this deck. But we've also got stuff like Lord Skitter's Butcher and Voracious Vermin. So I think I like this a little better here. This is a 2/1. When it enters, it makes a token. And whenever another creature we control dies, we get to put a 1/1 counter on Voracious Vermin. So this can grow quite quickly. So now we have an interesting decision. Do we use Rat Out to give this Mine Worker -1/-1? I guess we try that, right? Alternatively, we could have just played another Vermin or this Butcher or whatever. But I guess we'll do that. We get in for 4. They're down to 15. They did gain some life off of that Mine Worker, but trivial. Pick up another Rat Out. Alright, well, I think we were just getting in here for a bunch. And we'll play another Vermin, which will make another rat. And this is getting to be a huge board already, going into turn, 4, 5? Not even, right? We just missed 1 land drop, so. We're looking at 8 power on board already, and if we can find there's a couple of cards that buff all of our rats. I mean, opponent's Circuit Mender is going to buy them a lot of time between the life gain and blocking. Alright, so we've got Red Cap Gutter Dweller, 3/3 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 rats, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Gutter Dweller, and blah, 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 blah. A lot of words. Doesn't really help us this combat, so I guess we attack with everybody. They want to block one of the vermins. Is it worth ratting that guy out? I guess it is. So they still trade, but now we don't have to worry about Mender blocking again next turn. And a creature died, so our vermin's even bigger. Alright, so they need to come up with a real answer here, or the rats are just going to swarm over. Opponent thinking about their options. One of them is conceding. Great option. I love it when they take that. Piping Hot Pests gets there in, I think, record time for this series. Let's see if they can do it again. All right, here we go. Piping Hot Pests at it again. We've got only 2 lands. A little tight. This deck doesn't need many, so I'm going to keep it. Hopefully we draw at least one more so we can get Totentanz down. Blue deck opens with Sleight of Hand. We found our 3rd land. Okay. And Aquatic Alchemist. Interesting. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of good targets for rat out. I'm okay using it here just to get a rat on board. And then, man, next turn, either Sewer King or Totentanz. Blow off steam on our poor little rat. And then we're taking 3, maybe more. Wow. Taking 6, okay. So I guess the play here is Lord Skitter. Matches up a little better against this Alchemist. We can deny them some instants from their graveyard just in case they're building up toward Tolarian Terror or something like that. Well, not gonna give them an easy buff target. Okay, Splashy Spellcaster. So I think I want to use Evolving Wilds. And go get another swamp, probably. Set ourselves up for future turns. We can play Totentanz. Make a rat. Keep chipping away at their graveyard. No point really in attacking into a 2/4. So next turn, our choices are either Fit or Fang, which might be good because it flies. And we're going to need something to defend us against this Frolicking Familiar. Other plan could have been the pack, make some more rats. I think we're just going to try to outvalue them. Looks like they're playing the red and blue Bad Apprenticeship deck that we played earlier in this series. Alright. Opponent committing a lot of attacks here. So they probably have another instant or sorcery in their hand to buff up the Alchemist and or the Familiar. Man, that's unfortunate. So where do we block, if anywhere? Well, I guess we could try putting Flitterfang there. Okay, they didn't have any tricks waiting for us. Curious. Just a living lectern. Alright. So Gnawing Crescendo. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. Or we just make a big swarm of rats here. to just demolish their graveyard. Yep, 0. Nope, submit no more. We got him. Start of combat, he's going to make another rat, and if we just attack with everything, I mean, this isn't going to be 20 damage, but it is a lot. Lectern probably blocks Skitter, and they still take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They take like 13. Alright, opponent's at 7. We've got Gnawing Crescendo, so if they don't answer this board or kill us, they've got 5 power on board right now. But this deck is capable of popping off with these prowess triggers. Stopgap isn't gonna do it, I don't think. Well, they're up to 6. If they crack the Lectern and make this into a sorcerer, that would be 7. And if they're holding a burn spell, we're dead. Okay, catapult, I'm not worried about. Torch the tower, giving up their roll, but they're going to get another one back from Splashy Spellcaster. I think that still is only 8 damage on us. 9 because of the catapult? Oof. Are we going to 1? Oh, the catapult has to be tapped to deal damage. I thought it's whenever you cast a spell, it does a damage. You get to untap it. So we would have gone to 2 if they attacked with everybody. Doesn't matter, though. They conceded, so that's another win for the Rats. Let's see if we can do it one more time in Game 3. All right, Piping Hot Pests, back at it. We've got 3 lands, some early stuff to play. I'm pretty happy with this opening hand. The only part I don't like is we are on the draw. We'll play our Spear Guard, get in for a hasty 1 point of damage. So the question is, do we take turn 2 off for our Evolving Wilds? So that way we can get the Vermin down on curve. I guess that's the best place to do it. Opponent, 2 mountains and no action. All right. Yeah, alternatively, we would just play the swamp here, and then we could do... I think we'll just get in for 1. Drop that Evolving Wilds. And I think this deck has more double reds than double blacks, but at the very least, we'll make them think we're a mono red rat catcher deck. I don't know. They got 2 mountains, we've got 2 mountains. It seems fair. Alright, so turn 3 is going to be, oof, one of these voracious vermin for sure. He creates a little rat buddy, and now whenever a non-token creature we control dies, he gets bigger. And if they just kill him, we've got another one waiting in the shadows here. Ooh, opponent ready for the rats with End the Festivities. Ouch. That hurts. Alright, so we will not walk into another one of those. Do we just wait? Yeah, because that's a sorcery. Okay, so we'll let them do whatever on their turn, and then we can use Rat Catcher Trainee. Opponent's still stuck on 2 lands. We're going to make 2 more rat tokens. Attack for 3. Play Old Flitterfang, so at least he will not die to a lightning strike or End the Festivities. But if they have both... Oh my god. What is this deck? we're just about out of cards in hand now. I cannot endure any more board wipes. Opponent came fully prepared for the rat match. Unbelievable. 2 damage to each creature and each opponent. There's another board wipe. Okay, well. Truly don't know how we're supposed to, yeah, non-crescendo. Would have been great if we still had a board full of rats. But we don't. Okay, so actually, I guess we can use our inn to go pick up our rat catcher again. That at least is something. Let's see what opponent does with their discards here. None. They discard nothing. They play a 5th mountain. And a dragon that deals 1 damage to... I can't even with this deck. Oh my god. Alright, what does this do? Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. If it's a zombie, it's 2 instead. Oh boy. Okay, well... You got me, opponent. Another dragon. Another mountain. 3 cards left in hand. Another purifying dragon. Insane. Okay, well... You get to attack. You get to deal 1 damage. You get to pick off a rat. I can't block. I can't do anything. Can I get 12 damage through somehow? This doesn't give our creatures haste, so even if we make more rats here... Alright, well they take the bait. Although I guess we still don't actually kill both dragons. Alright, so if they attack, we take 8, or can this hit only creatures? So, Shivan Devastator, however, that will do it. What a weird ending for the rat deck. This mono-red list just was ready for the X1 matchup. I have never seen that happen before. I guess we'll put the deck up and do final thoughts and maybe talk about upgrades. Alright, actually I decided Totentanz deserved an encore, so we're going to squeeze in 1 more game here. We've got double red, double spear guards, and a blessing. No actual rats in this opening hand, technically, but I think we keep it. I cannot believe that last game. I cannot get my head around how thoroughly outcarded we were. That was insane. Hopefully that does not happen again, or ever again in my Magic career. Alright, we're in for 1 before our opponent even gets to play their first land. They have a very scary Shieldred avatar and some fancy sleeves. Dig it, dig it. Do they have anything to play on turn 1, though? Mountain Pass. Okay, let's make sure we're not falling for the same traps again. But we'll get in with our enchanted, wicked, harried spear guard. Draw an extra card, lose a life. Edgewall in, huh? Well. For 3. Put that down on red, I guess. I don't think it really matters if our hand is all lands at this point. Opponent wedding announcements. We draw and draw again. Alright. Well, I think first we attack. Block the 2, okay. Edgewall Pack gives us a 3/3 with Menace and a Rat Buddy. Second wedding announcement. Do they have a fourth land? They don't. Okay. So we have 5 mana to work with now. Do we do a 4 mana Song? Do we do the Vermin? Do we just do Flitterfang? I think we do Vermin. With the plan next turn. Popping off with the Song. And I don't want to risk the Spear Guard, because if they double block it, we lose our only enchanted creature, and then we don't get to draw extra cards. So I think I'm okay doing that, and now we just gotta dodge a board wipe of any real sort here. If they don't have a land, if they give us the good game. Alright, so we'll do a X's 5 Song of Totentanz, an appropriate way to end this. And they take all the damage. There we go. Okay. So the rats can get the job done. For real this time, let's take one last look at the deck and talk about final thoughts and upgrades. Alright, Piping Hot Pests featuring Totentanz, his song, and Lord Skitter's blessing, telling the tale of a musician who is lured by the promise of easy fans and just struck a bargain with a sewer lord, and things didn't work out great for him, but they went okay for us. We did well enough with this deck. Again, pretty budget, pretty easy to build out of draft chaff, I mean, if you want to. But you could also upgrade this one in a couple different ways. So let's take a look at what I have in mind. First thing, you always want to get Evolving Wilds out if you can, and something like Sulphurous Springs is probably just better in every case all the time, right? So this might deal some damage to us over the course of the game, but we're trying to win before that really matters anyway. So replacing some of your lands with something that fixes your colors and doesn't slow you down on those crucial early turns can make all of the difference. After that, you're just looking for more rats, really. You could do Karumonix, the Rat King. He's a Phyrexian, but he gives all your rats Toxic, which might make the math easier for you. You only got to hit your opponent 10 times rather than getting them all the way down from 20 to 0. And when he enters the battlefield, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, you can reveal any number of rat cards from among them, put them in your hand. He can draw you up to 5 cards if your deck is humming along and is packed with rats. But even if he just picks up 1 or 2, I mean, that is still pretty good. So I would consider that. Or if you want to keep it all within Eldraine, you've got Tangled Colony, a 2 mana 3/2. It can't block, but again, we're the aggressive deck. We're trying to win. We don't do a lot of blocking anyway. We want to deal the damage first. So when this dies, we create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens that can't block, where X is the amount of damage dealt to it. So if you attack with this 3/2 and your opponent blocks with their 5/4 Beanstalk Worm, you get 5 1/1s out of that. Seems all right. And then another upgrade you could try, Tattered Ratter. So 2 mana 2/2. Whenever a rat you control becomes blocked, it gets +2/+0. So that lets your little 1/1s really punch upward. They can't safely block with their 2/2s and 3/3s anymore. You are now dragging everything down into the sewers and devouring it. So those are 4 cards I would look to fit in. As far as what you take out, you probably don't need 2 copies of Flitterfang. I mean, he's cool because he's the only flying card in this deck, and he gives you a way to sacrifice your rat tokens, I guess, to buff him so you can get in for like 5 at a time in the air, but he is legendary and he's expensive, so I'd probably just go down to 1 of him. And other than that, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could come down a rat catcher trainee or 2, replace that maybe with some of the Tattered Ratters, Voracious Vermin, or the Butcher. I mean, these are 3 mana cards. Either of those you could cut for some number of the Rat King. And then where you can fit in Tangled Colony, that's a little bit tougher. Maybe get rid of the packs. I mean, these bring some rats with them, but again, they're 4 mana. That's a little bit more than this deck wants to spend. So I think I would ditch the dogs and replace them with more rats, and that just improves your rat density, which makes your chiromonics even better. So it's really all about that synergy between having the right number of rat kings and the right number of tokens to go wide so that your Twisted Sewer Witch becomes the perfect finishing touch for the whole thing. Overall, though, I mean, the deck works pretty much as it is. It just costs a couple of wild cards, and you're climbing the ladder for standard for sure. I don't personally like it because the rats kind of freak me out, but if this is your thing, then hey, man, go cheese on it, I guess. I don't know. This has been a really fun series. We've covered all 15 decks now from the official story decks for Wilds of Eldraine as created by Wizards of the Coast. Remember, there's a link down below that will take you to the official page where you can see all 15 decks all at once. But I have seen people in the comments ask if I'm going to bring back my favorites or apply some of these upgrades that I've talked about and do a few more episodes with some of the decks again. I'm open to that. I might take a little break from this and work on some scripted stuff for a change. But if you want to see me revisit any of the decks in particular, if you've got ideas for upgrades or something that you think deserved one more shot in the arena, leave me a comment down below. That's how I know what you like. The other way I know what you like the video. So do that and then subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. We'll see ya.